Guys, welcome back to the Seahawks franchise. I know it's been a minute since we uploaded. I think it's been like 10 days. And so one thing I noticed when I was looking back at the stats was that Geno has been on a crazy streak here. He's got a 6-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio over the last like 6 or 7 games that he's been playing. Because when he started out, he had, I think it was 9 touchdowns to 10 picks when we benched him. When we brought him back, since then, he's had 18 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions. And obviously our backups, when we moved them in, they had a combined 1 touchdown and 7 picks. And then rushing, again, this is just a quick refresher. Ken Walker over 1,000 yards rushing, averaging 77 per game and 7 touchdowns. And then obviously DK Metcalf having an insane season with 17 receiving TDs, 1,500 yards. And we're not going to review the scouting because we've already gone over that plenty. So if you want to look at prospects in this upcoming draft, go to previous episodes and you can see that towards the beginning of the episode. And then by QB sacks, Derek Hall is by far our best. He's been a huge reason why we've been playing so well on defense. Devin Witherspoon still with 4 picks, Christian Patterson with 3, Tariq with 3, Trenton Simpson with 2, Julian Love with 2, and Devin Bush and Robert Quinn each with 1. And then for forced fumbles, we got a couple different players with some forced fumbles. Defensive TDs, we got 3 total this season. Devin Bush, Trent Simpson, and Devin Witherspoon. With that being said, let's go ahead and just get straight into the game. We're going to try a little different format out this week, and especially in this episode, we're going to try to do multiple games. So make sure you stick around through the end of this game, going into next game, because you don't want to miss out on what we do in Week 18, because next week is our last regular season game, and these last 2 games are super important for us to actually make the playoffs. If you see the NFC West standings right now, we're at 9-6, and we got 2 8-7 teams right below us. So if those teams were to win and we lose, then we could very well miss the playoffs. So these last 2 games are crucial, and we're going to try to fit both of those games in this episode. All right, before the game, we got 1 upgrade for Derek Hall, too. We're going to upgrade his power rushing, even though, again, I see him more of as a speed rusher. He's just much better at with his power moves so far, and that gets his power moves up to an 80. Gooden on the return, starting from the 10-yard line about. Can't get too shifty down at the 22-yard line. I think it was Diablo who took him out. Gonna try some play action straight out of the gate. They do have a heavy box, so I think this could work. JSN could come open over on the post route. Looks like he will. And again, that's a tight window for Geno to fit that ball. And if we had more zip on the pass, I'm very confident JSN would be able to hold on to that ball, because he'd catch it before he'd be getting contact right on his back. Try to run this time. And run Ken Walker over to the left. Gotta get that lead block, and we do, and Ken Walker could be out for the races, and no one's gonna catch him. Great blocking. I was super worried about that lead block straight out of, I think that was the B gap, but we had that pulling guard who did a great job stopping that linebacker, and Ken Walker takes it all the way. Some great blocking by DK Metcalf, too. All right, we're starting out in nickel. Usually we like to stay in 3-4, but we're gonna be in nickel. They are also in nickel, and they have Devontae Adams with Trenton Simpson matched up on him. That's going to be a tough matchup. Should probably move that around. Trenton Simpson can't be playing man coverage against most players. Definitely can't be playing man coverage against Devontae Adams. All right, we're going to stay in zone for now. We haven't moved Trenton Simpson out of the slot yet. They still have Devontae Adams in the slot out of nickel. Watching underneath. It's a one-on-one. Tariq could get the interception, and instead it's going to be basically out of bounds. Jimmy G with an inaccurate pass. Okay, so we took Trent Simpson off the field for the time being, but we are going to get him back on the field, and we couldn't force the incompletion. Julian Love was all over that. There's no way that Michael Mayer ran that route so quickly that our number 1 safety, our number 1 coverage safety could not play that. Okay, so instead, now we have Trent Simpson playing up top in zone where he's going to be more comfortable, and we have Julian Love playing the slot. And this is a fake bubble screen we're watching. Oh, it gets picked off by Marquise Blair. He's all over Michael Mayer. Inaccurate pass from Jimmy Garoppolo. Really, there was no pressure on him anyways. Jimmy G's just really, just a terrible throw. And now we just got to execute on it. And they're showing double A-gap pressure. I don't want to do a play action because they're probably going to blitz here, I'm assuming. A 5-yard out by DK. Conservative. Pick up a couple yards. Now, 2nd and 6, looking for some crossing routes. Looks like it's zone coverage. I'm going to look for the underneath for JSN pretty quickly here. And it's there. Just going to make those quick reads. You know, when we're playing cover 2 or cover 3, usually the soft spot on a drag is just right over the middle. So you got to throw it really early. If he crosses the tight end, the drag route, then it's going to be too late. And the flat's probably going to pick it up. Ken Walker on the outside. Big yards, but it's probably going to be a hold, I'm assuming. Let's double check. And it is. That's a bummer. We got to move it back to 1st and 20 from the 35 instead of being at the 17-yard line. They're going to try a triple option. A little bit risky here. And they play it. Get out to Ken Walker, and I think that was the corner, misplayed the option pitch completely. Was way too far inside, and that let Ken Walker pick up a lot of yards. Could try another option. It's a little bit aggressive. Instead, we're going to do a dive up the middle, and great lead blocks. Again, Ken Walker shifting his way up the middle. 3 carries for 106 yards. This could be an all-time performance from Ken Walker as long as we continue to run the football. And with a 7-point lead, we have all the motivation in the world to continue to do that. And they're playing the outside. Ken Walker may have lost a yard, and it looks like he gained a couple. The interesting thing about this Raiders team is that, in a lot of the mock drafts coming up to this year, in real life, everyone was having the Seahawks pick Tyree Wilson, and obviously we ended up not doing that. Yeah, throw it away. And it's going to be a flag. I think he was outside the pocket, so I'm going to say this is roughing the passer. And it's going to be roughing the passer. Oh, wait, what? Oh, no, it's intentional grounding. I thought it was roughing the passer. It was a late hit, but yeah, we were supposed to get Tyree Wilson. Obviously, we picked Devin Witherspoon instead. I'm actually really happy with the pick. At the time, I was definitely questioning it. Looking for Noah Fant. It's not there. We're scrambling out. Cedric Beckham, lead block for us. Gino gets down to the 8-yard line. Got 11 yards on the carry. We're going to stop the drive here and take the field goal, though. All right, coming back out in nickel again. Like I said before, we have Trenton Simpson playing deep safety, but he is in man coverage because we're man blitzing on this play. And getting back to the left side, Josh Jacobs, man. I remember the last... Oh, my God. This is exactly what I was thinking of. The last time we played the Raiders, Josh Jacobs had a walk-off overtime touchdown, and he matches Ken Walker's, 80-something yard rushing TD with one of his own, breaking a tackle at the line of scrimmage and taking it all the way. Dude is just a problem, and I would love to have Josh Jacobs. The reason I ran a poll on my channel between Saquon and Josh Jacobs is because I'm actually low-key a big Josh Jacobs fan, especially after that game against us. He made us look terrible, and our run defense hasn't been great the last couple of years. It's kind of been like a mixed bag. Sometimes we have a really good run defense, but sometimes that just means that our pass defense is so bad that the other teams don't bother to run the ball, which gives us a good run defense, if you know what I mean. Like, our pass defense is so bad, it makes our run defense look good. And Deion Gooden goes down at the 23-yard line. Last game, too, Ken Walker had that big performance of, I think he had like 20-something carries for 140 yards. No touchdowns because Charbonnet ended up poaching one. DK Metcalf with another good lead block. Ken Walker going back inside, going back outside, zigzagging down to the 44-yard line. 5 carries for 130. He's basically matched his performance from last week already. I don't know what he's doing to... Is that Morrig? He's like... Probably shouldn't say that one on the video. Anyways, we're gonna try play action. See 2 high safeties. Looking for DK. It's not there. Instead, we got the crosser. And JSN's able to stay in bounds and then go out at the... Oh, man, what is that going to be? I'm going to say face mask. Oh, they gave unnecessary roughness to them. That's wild because we were still in bounds. But we'll take it. Down at the 10-yard line. And single back's been working really well for us. But we're going to come out in the gun this time. We see only one linebacker kind of near the middle. And we're going to take this. And Ken Walker's going to get in the end zone for his 2nd touchdown. An injury to Robert Spillane as well, holding his knee. 10-point lead. 2 minutes left in the first quarter. A really high-scoring first quarter already. Going to come out and cover 3. And again, we're just going to sit back in zone and basically just make Jimmy G make throws. I do worry, yeah, like... Oh, Josh Jacobs again, man. This time with the catch. I do worry that if we play man coverage that Devontae Adams will expose us. I think we limit and mitigate his impact if we just play zone defense. He can find the soft spot, that's fine, but that also requires Jimmy G to read the zone defense. And we get called, or is that going to be a false start? Okay, we'll take it. But yeah, basically that's, I think, my philosophy for this game. And I try to mix up my coaching strategies like game by game for the matchup. And I think just sitting back in cover 3 and just trying to have solid run fit, oh my God, is basically the best idea. Just try to stay active on run defense. Try to literally play the gaps and try to get like solid tackles, which is always difficult against a running back like Josh Jacobs, and then just make Jimmy G make these throws. And that's been our strategy and a successful formula for some of our games recently is making these QBs, these mid-tier and below, like bottom third of the league starting QBs make throws against our defense. And while we don't have a great pass rush, I think we have solid enough coverage that we can actually make it really difficult for these quarterbacks. Watching the drag underneath. We're all over. Jimmy G's got to run out, and he gets sacked by Boye Mafe. But Mike Morris has an injury. It looks like he's holding his shoulder. I hate to see that. We've been subbing him in at D tackle, and he's been a pretty good impact player for us. Again, just a great run stopper. 4th and 18, they're going to punt it to us. We're going to receive down, looks like at the 20. Oh my God, almost got knocked out by Trey Flowers. Deion Gooden's going to go down at the 30-yard line. Yeah, we had success running option plays, and we're in pistol here, looking like we might run an option, but we're actually going to run an RPO. And instead, we're just going to hand off to Ken Walker, see if he can get to the edge, and he can. They really don't have a lot of speed on this Raiders defense, and we're kind of making him pay for it with Ken Walker. Looks like just a bruised shoulder, so he should be good to go. Probably not significant risk of putting him back in. We try another run, another dive up the middle. And again, this is just like the bread and butter. This is the formula, I think, to consistently win for us is continuing to run the ball, take deep shots. And again, I've mentioned this in the last couple of episodes. Gino just can't play like a pro-style sort of offense where he needs to make tight window throws. JSN has his man beat, exposing, I think that was zone defense, and JSN takes it all the way. Running play action and deep throws are perfect for Gino with his, he's got great accuracy, but he's got no throw power. So just letting him lead these receivers has been perfect. And I'm not going to lie, it took a long time to unlock the offense. That's, I think, why we went on a huge losing streak towards the beginning of the season and why Gino struggled and started out with 9 touchdowns and 10 picks is because we just couldn't figure out the best way to use him. And Devontae breaks a tackle, goes down for a 7-yard gain. And they're throwing underneath right now, and we're going to continue to let them do that. With a significant lead, 7 minutes left still, basically the start of the second quarter. We're just going to let them dink and dunk it. And again, let Jimmy G just make mistakes. And sideline, he can't stay in. Decent defense from Tariq. It's going to be 3rd and 3. We're going to stay in nickel. They have 3 receivers out here. They're in empty. And this is a little bit aggressive. Again, we're going to come out and cover 2. They could beat us deep. I am kind of worried about that. And instead, they beat us in the flats, which I didn't expect to happen considering we were playing cover 2. I thought, if anything, they'd beat us down the sideline in cover 2, but they exposed us in the flats, which doesn't really make much sense to me. Play action. We're here with Derek Hall. Derek Hall trying to come get the sack on Jimmy G. Jimmy G's got a receiver wide open. Mayer with the catch. Tariq couldn't play 2 there. Got caught between playing Mayer and playing that deep post route. And we should have just been there quicker with Derek Hall. It's kind of a mistake by me. We're going to come out and cover 3 again. We're going to send Devin Bush on a blitz this time, though. We're going to only have one guy playing over the middle. Looks like we're doing a good job there. Oh, the deep in is going to get open, though. Jacoby Myers down to the 16-yard line. Jimmy's got, 70% completion percentage, but that one pick is making it look a little bit uglier. We need to get a stop here. Continuing to play cover 3. They're in single back. It's play action. We know what this play is. And an offensive lineman with the catch for a 2-yard gain. Devin Bush takes him down. It's going to be 2nd and 8. Again, coming out into really heavy formation. 3 tight ends on the field. And it's another play action. Looks like the exact same play, but this time Devontae beats Tariq. We were in zone coverage. We should have been. Oh, we were in a man blitz. Damn. My mistake. Exactly. We run man one time, Devontae Adams gets open. That's the problem. Brandon Simpson coming down, trying to stop Josh Jacobs. He does a great job stopping him for, it looks like, a 1-yard loss. Going to be 2nd and goal now from the 5. A touchdown would be huge for them, getting them back into the game. And if we can hold them to a field goal, I feel pretty confident in us winning this game already. Be a toss out to the right. Christian Patterson trying to play good run fit, but Devin Bush can't get the tackle, gets stiff-armed by Josh Jacobs. And imagine, man, like if the Seahawks would have signed Josh Jacobs, and I know it makes no sense for them to do that with their current roster, The 1-2 punch of Ken Walker and Josh Jacobs would be insane. And the thing is, running backs don't cost that much money. We've seen time and time again recently that running back contracts aren't that big. So running backs aren't that valuable, but they actually have a big impact on the game. They just aren't that valuable because of how quickly they fall off in terms of production and, you know, how much of a toll they get by playing the sport. So you'd think that limiting carries and having two great running backs could actually be a great roster construction. Ken Walker gets, oh man, got some solid blocks. Charles Cross just couldn't hold on to it. 3-yard gain. You'd think that pairing a power back like Josh Jacobs with Ken Walker would actually be great. The only problem I see logistically is that obviously we drafted Zach Charbonnet. And I'm not going to lie, I would much rather have Josh Jacobs than Zach Charbonnet. Zach Charbonnet, I was really upset about that pick at the time. And that's also why I don't really... damn. He didn't pick up the first. That's also why I don't really play him much in our franchise. I had to play him last year, obviously, because Ken Walker tore his pec. And so Charbonnet was our number one running back. But this season, you've seen he's barely touched the field. And there's a reason for it. I just don't like him as a player. He's a power back, but there's nothing that really, again, is unique about him. I can play him at the goal line, and he, you know, last week he did poach a touchdown at the goal line. But outside of that, like, he's not Josh Jacobs. That's basically what I'm trying to say. He's not Josh Jacobs, but we pay him like he's Josh Jacobs because he was a first-round draft pick. And I may be off base with this because I actually don't remember how much Josh Jacobs got paid to go to the Packers, but I would have been willing to pay it if it were me. Watching the, crosser, and Devin Bush playing excellent coverage over the middle. Gonna be 2nd and 10 now, and that's exactly, so that, even if Devin Bush wasn't there, I think Jimmy G misses that throw. And again, that's what the benefit of sitting in zone is. Just make Jimmy G make these tough throws in tight windows, and he just doesn't have that accuracy. He's just throwing dump passes down to Josh Jacobs. 3rd and 7 now. I mean, he's got 10 completions for, 97 yards, which isn't that bad for yards per attempt. But that's not going to be actually his yards per attempt. But it's not going to be that bad. But, yeah, he's just not aggressively looking down the field. We're watching underneath. We're all over it. The deep in is there. But what the hell? He had Josh Jacobs wide open, I think, underneath. Instead, he throws it away. And they're going to punt it back to us. And with a 9-point lead, we need to get a score on the board before half to get us some more separation. On the return, Gooden is going to get it at the 25 and see if we can actually get some decent blocks. Nope, down to 33. Today so far, Ken Walker with 150 rushing yards, no receiving yards. We could get him involved in the passing game, but there really, I feel like, is no need. We did just get stopped on our last drive on 3rd and 2. But we got that crosser again to JSN, and like, it's kind of overpowered against zone coverage sometimes running that crosser route. I get it. But if they're playing man coverage, that actually would be covered. I don't intend to run multiple of the same plays over and over again. We actually do have a cap on how many times we're going to run a specific play. Built in, Ken Walker loses a yard on the play. And so far in the second quarter, he's not had the same sort of success he did in the first. DK hasn't had a huge involvement in the game either. It's been mostly those crosser routes to JSN. Then we're going to try running stick, something that we don't typically run because of Gino's lack of arm talent. And a tight window, and it was well played on the edge. Tyree Wilson doing a good job. Now it's 3rd and 11. We got a couple of out routes. Let's see if we can get JSN wide open. A complete misplay by, was that Harris? Or that was Hobbs. I don't know what Hobbs was doing, but he doubled the 5-yard out and left the corner out wide open for the touchdown. And that's the lead we needed going into half. We are going to try some zone blitzes coming up here soon. We're coming cover 2. This is a little dangerous. Watching over the middle. We're there with Julian Love. And we get the sack. That's huge. Putting him back to the 47-yard line. They're going to use their last time out. It's going to be 3rd and 17. Now we're going to bring cover 1. We're going to 7 Devin Bush on the blitz. Going to be aggressive here. Oh, damn. I didn't mean to do that. And we get pressure! And he fumbles it. Let's call a timeout. I'm actually curious who got the pressure here. So what we were trying to do is send Devin Bush on the blitz And instead, we got stuck on Kenyon Porter, so we dropped Kenyon Porter back into coverage. But Mafe comes free for his second sack of the game and the forced fumble. And we almost recover it with, who was that? Derek Hall almost recovered it. And the combination of Boye Mafe and Derek Hall has been electric the second half of the season. All right, they get ball to start. We're going to come out and cover 3. Next play, I'm looking to potentially run a zone blitz. For the time being, we're just going to sit back and cover 3 like they've been expecting us to do. They're in single back, watching everything underneath, and drag does get open. And so that's going to be a significant pickup yards after the catch-wise by Michael Mayer. That's his 6th catch for 66 yards. And so, again, like I said, we're going to try to bring out a zone blitz, see if we can catch Jimmy G off guard. He's been looking for cover 3 this whole time. He basically run it all game. And so we're going to send Christian Patterson, and Josh Jacobs is going to run up the middle. We missed the tackle attempt, but Josh Jacobs is brought down after he picks up the first. And the good thing is, we would have to deal with Josh Jacobs so much more in this game if we didn't have the lead, or if it was nearly tied. But because they're down by so much, they have to actually, they're going to run the ball again. They have to pass quite a bit. And they have passed about 3 times as much as they've run so far. But if they're going to, with a 16-point deficit, I know there's a lot of time left, but if they're going to continue to run the ball, we'll just sit back and cover 3. Well, not cover 3. We'll sit back and nickel and just let him do that. And Devin Bush doesn't have the speed to keep up with Jacoby Myers. That's almost exactly what we wanted. If we could have kept up with Devin Bush a little bit better on the crosser, that's a sack again. But we've been playing a little bit of zone blitz. Going to come back into cover 3, but we're going to play hard flat coverage. See if he'll throw it underneath. They're going to run it again with Josh Jacobs, and they're getting some good blocks to the outside. Devin Bush able to... Actually, it wasn't Devin Bush. Derek Hall with the tackle, and Devin Witherspoon was able to kind of slow that play down, but he does get injured, holding his wrist again. He's had some injuries throughout these first 2 seasons on the team, and it's been kind of an issue. And even in real life, I remember it was kind of a game time decision whether or not he'd play in the first game of the season. Trying to get to the edge, Julian Love can't make the tackle. And again, Josh Jacobs breaks multiple tackles. It's been an issue for us all season. We're secure tackling too. We're not going for aggressive hit sticks. We're not going for out-of-body sort of tackles. We're just going for secure arm and body tackles. All right, we're going to try another dive play. They do get 2 linebackers over the middle. They got a lot of people in the box. And we're going to try running it to the left. And damn, Max Crosby came through so quickly from the right side. It was completely unblocked. We lose 2 yards on the play. This is a trademark play for the Seahawks. When you're in a tight game, in a must-win game, you just run Wildcat for no apparent reason. We're going to do it. We're going to run a counter, and Ken Walker loses another yard. Wildly unsuccessful first 2 plays of the drive. So we got to put the ball in Gino's hands, let him make a throw, and we got to get it. Ideally, we got to route something up for our number 1 receiver, DK Metcalf, who's been relatively quiet. And I do love this play, actually, to get him wide open. This should beat zone coverage. It looks like it's zone. And DK on the deep 10-yard. I don't know what you call that, like a 10-yard in or a 10-yard post. But beats his man one-on-one. Holds onto the ball. 3rd catch for 23 yards at this point. Going to run Ken Walker now. We're going to bring JSN in motion, make it look like a similar play. And Ken Walker's going to run this outside zone. We're going to cut back left. Ken Walker picks up 5. And again, most of our production from Noah Fant has come off of these tight end screens. We're going to do that again. We haven't really targeted him much. He's going to set that block initially, move off of it, and picks up... loses a yard, actually. I felt like we set them up perfectly for that. They were in zone coverage, so that's usually when our screen passes work the best. And they just rallied to it really fast. DK Metcalf on the out. Couldn't hold on to it. Great coverage by Long. And it's going to be 4th and 6. We got to punt it. All right. Josh Jacobs is an X factor. They're going to run him. And they get a huge hole. Trenton Simpson has to make a one-on-one tackle. And he actually does it. Josh Jacobs now up to 10 carries for 140 yards and 3 TDs. Just making a mess of our run defense. And it's the Ken Walker and Josh Jacobs show. Right now, Josh Jacobs is slightly winning. Ken Walker was winning to start the game. Getting a sit in cover 3. They got to start passing the ball down by 10. Nearing the 4th quarter. Expect a pass. They're running a similar formation to what we were running. They run looks like a 5-yard drag. Like a 5-yard motion drag. And Tucker picks it up for a gain of 6. We're going to send a man blitz this time. We're going to use Christian Patterson. I don't like this. We're going to sit on Michael Mayer with Christian Patterson, basically. On the in again, and Christian Patterson makes a tackle on Tucker. He made a first down completion, though. And they're starting to get some momentum on offense, starting to move the sticks. Then move back into cover 3 again. Just sitting in cover 3 nickel. Next play, I'm looking to zone blitz. On the left side, they're running some slants. Michael Mayer with another grab. All right, we're bringing the zone blitz. Send Julian Love off the left side. We're pretending like he's going to play coverage on Devontae Adams. And it's play action. And, oh, we couldn't force incompletion to Jacoby Myers. Marquise Blair was almost there. Be 1st and 10 from the 22. And that's probably going to be the last play of the quarter unless they decide to run one more. Let's see. We're sending another... we're going to sit in zone blitz. And they do run it. Up the middle, Josh Jacobs is brought down by Mike Morris, who's come back in after that injury. And that's going to go and take us to the 4th quarter. Come out and cover 1 this time. Devontae Adams is on the outside here as a tight end almost. And it's play action. We're doubling Devontae. Tariq misplayed that ball. Could have had a chance at a pick. Jacoby Myers couldn't find the ball either, though, which worked out for us. It's going to be 3rd and 7. We're going to sit in cover 2. Going to sit back. And Josh Jacobs has got the ball. Christian Patterson with a huge hit. And they got to settle for a field goal, which is going to make it a 1-score game regardless. So we have to do something with our next offensive possession. All right, everything is on the table on this offensive possession, passing and running the ball. And, oh my God, Deion Gooden almost broke it. Oh, got some great blocks. Down at the 36-yard line. Great starting position. Okay, we're going to get the ball in DK's hands as long as this is zone coverage. It looks like it might be on the bubble screen. DK. JSN with an actual lead block, and DK runs over a man as he goes down to the 45-yard line. Gino with only 10 completions so far for 220 yards on 13 attempts. We barely passed the ball. We're going to, again, I think just passing it right now is going to catch them off guard with our lead. And we got play action going. Oh, dangerous. Luckily, it was so inaccurate, just went straight to the ground. We had a crosser that was open underneath the safety. I think that was JSN, but we didn't have time to set our feet and make that throw. On 2nd and 10, the clock is stopped after that incompletion. We're going to run it with Ken Walker, and a good lead block. Ken Walker breaks a tackle. He's fighting for extra yards. It's going to be 3rd and 2. They got the 5th-ranked rush defense. We got 175 rushing yards. Doesn't matter. All right, we're going to start out in a pass-heavy formation, and we're going to move into an inside zone. Try to catch... Oh, my God. Did we get a false start? We did. Oh, my God. It's brutal. All right, instead, we're going to mix it up. We're going to run another empty set. We're going to send Ken Walker on a go. Looks like he's got a safety on him. JSN is in the slot on a double move. Got to watch that second linebacker, and JSN holds on to it. A huge catch. Divian Diablo was all over him. Doesn't matter. 6th catch for 180. Really, I think that's his first catch of the second half after having a huge first half performance. They switched to a halfback sweep. We've run this play once before, and it was relatively effective. Now we're going to start to burn the clock. Got the play clock down to 5. Snap it. Gonna stay right, and Max Crosby kind of blew that play up. Probably should have taken that into consideration where Max Crosby was on the field. And we got a heavy pass formation. Noah Fant beats Diablo. Noah Fant holds on to it between the safety and the linebacker down at the 3-yard line. And this could be enough to seal the game for us. Going to come out and empty again. Showing pass. They have no linebacker over the middle. We're going to move Ken Walker across the middle. Now they have Diablo over the middle as well. And I think we're going to send Metcalf over to the right. That's actually not the look we want. We got to snap it, though. We only got a second. Got to snap. Ken Walker dives in for the touchdown over their defensive tackle. I didn't think he was going to get there. Right here, it looks like he's going to be short, but then he gets contacted by the defensive tackle or defensive end. Who was that? That was Walls, who hits him, keeps him in the air, and he's able to fall down for the touchdown. An insane play. And with that touchdown, that's kept us on pace offensively for what we've been averaging lately. And that touchdown also matches Ken Walker with Josh Jacobs now for his third. Christian Patterson trying to get out to the edge to stop Josh Jacobs, who stiff arms two of our DBs, I think, before Patterson's able to take him down. It's going to be 2nd and 2. And with this 14-point lead, they got to start passing the ball, man. They can't keep running with Josh Jacobs, right? He's not even in on this play. Watching the drag, and we let up on it finally to cover the running back. And they do make that pass to our former tight end, Colby Parkinson. Moving back into cover 3. Got Julian Love again playing that slot. And throwing that one-on-one, Jacoby Myers. But Jimmy with an inaccurate pass. Boye Mafe talking some crap to him. Now it's going to be 2nd and 10. We're going to bring a man blitz. It's going to be very aggressive here. May not be the right play. But we're going to bring it off the left side. They're in empty. Watching Davante Adams this whole way. We're doubling it. Devin Bush is there. And Davante ended up almost still catching it. He double covered him. We knew it was probably an in route. We played it. Should have been a pick. He almost caught it and took it for a touchdown, though. Cover 4 now, 3rd and 10. They have to go for it on 4th as well. So they might be looking for something underneath. Oh, and he dropped it before Julian Love even made contact with him. He's anticipating contact. And Davante Adams is out of rhythm, so it's going to be 4th and 10. They get Davante Adams playing off the line, so that means we can't press him. Not going to do that anyways. It'd be really dumb to be pressing Davante Adams. We're not going to play man coverage on him either. Sitting back in cover 3 zone. Let's make Jimmy beat us. And he's got time. He doesn't have time anymore, though. Boye Mafe with the sack. And that is going to be the game, most likely. We're going to run the clock out here. That's sack number 3 for Mafe. A huge performance from Mafe. And I can see a dev upgrade coming after a performance like this. 3rd and 11 in single back. Just crossed the 2-minute warning. And as long as we just pick up yards here, we should be in position for at least a field goal. No penalty. We'll take... it's a 50-yarder. But we should hit this with Myers. I'm hoping this isn't off. And right down the middle. It's good. And that's going to give us a 3-possession lead with under 2 minutes remaining. And this game should well be over. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and go to the stats. All right, so they did score a touchdown before the end of the game, but we end up winning 40-30. Another masterful... I don't even know where I was going to go with that sentence when I said masterful. Another awesome offensive performance from Gino and company, especially Ken Walker and JSN, who just had, elite performances. Gino with a perfect passer rating, I think. Jimmy with a tough game, 1 TD, 1 pick. Ken Walker, 21 carries, averaging 8 yards per carry for 160 yards and 3 TDs. Ended up outperforming Josh Jacobs. Maybe didn't get as many yards per carry, but kind of made... he even had a longer run in total. But receiving-wise, JSN with 6 catches for 180, 2 touchdowns. Jacoby Myers, 5 catches for 100. And then DK, only 3 guys on our team even caught the ball. Gooden, who's actually been... a pretty big part of the offense these last couple of weeks, our rookie receiver, didn't have a single catch. And none of our running backs had catches. Really a weird receiving game. Let's see. So that's 12 total completions for Gino. Didn't even think about that. And JSN, 30 yards per reception is crazy. And then defensively, leading in tackles for losses, Mafe, who ended up having those 3 sacks. Mike Morris combining with Derek Hall for half of a sack. And then interceptions, Marquise Blair with 1 pick. And then we had 1 forced fumble from Boye Mafe as well on that strip sack. Charles Cross gets an upgrade after the game, and we're going to upgrade his pass protector. Get him up to an 82 overall. Again, for me, the tackles is most important that they can pass protect. Guards, for me, I like them to be agile and be a little bit of both. And then centers, not as important, but usually like a power center is what I like to look for. And for our 1 new injury, we did have an injury coming in from Devin Witherspoon. He has broken ribs. And so just as we're entering the playoffs, there's 1 week left against the Patriots, and then we're going into the wild card. Broken ribs means Devin Witherspoon's going to be out until, I think at minimum, the NFC Championship game if we were to make it that far. So we're missing our number 1 corner by far, and we're going to have Tariq Woolen starting at corner, and then I don't know who our corner 2 is. Right now it's Trey Flowers, I think. And so it's between starting Trey Flowers at corner or putting Julian Love at corner. And I don't know what the better option is because Trenton Simpson actually did pretty well playing deep safety, and having Julian Love in the slot worked really well. Let me know what you think in the comments. We're going to go ahead and not get into that second game for this episode. We're going to stick with where we're at now. You see here, Draymond Jones also has a 1-week injury. He should be back for next week in our last regular season game. And I think that win should cement us with a playoff spot at least, but we don't know definitively until we see what the records are for the Niners and the Rams next week. Anyways, this is a great episode. I'll see you guys in the next one, and we're going to try to be more consistent with the episodes and the uploads. Next episode, we are going to get multiple games in, so we're going to have the Patriots, and then we're going to have the wild card at least, if not more. So I'll see you guys in the next one, and peace.